Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be telling you about The Monuments Men. It's one of George Clooney's more recent films. It's also his most recent film that he directed. And it's a World War II film that's also based off real events where this group of men went overseas to, Germany, France, all these other places during the war. And what they were trying to do, what they actually succeedingly were able to do in a successful way while on this journey is recruit all these famous contemporary art pieces, paintings, sculptures, things that were done by like Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael and Donatello, or basically any of the Ninja Turtles, if you really think about it. Were named off Renaissance artists. There's a lot of different art that they're trying to rescue. Some of it's already broken, so they got to at least recruit of it what they can. But basically, these men go overseas, like I said, and they're trying to recruit all of it that they can before the Nazis destroy it or get their hands on it, or before they put it in a place where they can't find it. So basically, throughout the course of the film, these men are trying to figure out where these are, and they want to get them back to the right places before the Nazis do something bad to these art pieces. So the Monuments Men, you guys, it was okay. I know a lot of people were really looking forward to this film back when it first came out. The release was even delayed when this first came out too. It was going to come out in December, but it ended up coming out in February when this first came out. And a lot of people were really looking forward to it. It had a huge cast, a lot of talent involved with it. It definitely looked like a huge Oscar-winning World War II film, but unfortunately didn't do a lot. As a result, it was only okay. So for my positives and negatives of Monuments Men, I did think it was a well-made film. I think as a film production, it was well made. It looked good. George Clooney, found ways to make it look like you're watching something happening in World War II. I think that aspect of the film did pretty well. It was a well-made film, but when I get to my negatives later, you'll see why being a well-made film isn't quite enough when it comes to a film like this. I thought the film also had a good musical score. Alexandra Desplat, who I guess has done the music for the Godzilla reboot and for the last two Harry Potter films, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. I like a lot of his stuff. This film for sure had a great musical score. You could definitely tell it's from him because it was just so well made. He's definitely getting up there with Hans Zimmer and John Williams, I think. I think he's a very good composer, even Alan Silvestri for that matter. So good musical score for this. I also like it when the film had a lot of like team effort moments where the film was really trying to emphasize that some of these tasks, some of these art pieces required the whole group to be involved, to have roles of some kind, to have the leader of the group, have the person who's doing this side task, have the person work on this and stuff. Really make it a team effort to recruit some of these art pieces. I liked those team effort moments. It really felt special in the movie, and I really wish the film had more of those team effort moments because they were really quite spectacular for when those moments were actually happening. The film also does a good job of showing the importance and beauty of art, something that I was really looking forward to going into this film. George Clooney definitely succeeded with that. He definitely showed the importance of art, the beauty of art, and why it's important that we keep having, these contemporary art pieces within our society. It's also a well acted film. Everybody does a great job in this. Matt Damon, George Clooney, Bob Balaban, Bill Murray, John Goodman, Cate Blanchett, a ton of cast members in this that did a really good job. Well acted film for sure. For my negatives of The Monuments Men, I thought the use of Matt Damon, though I loved his performance, though I loved his character, I loved what he was doing in the movie, I didn't like that he was separate from this Monuments Men team for a good majority of the movie, I would say. It got to the point where I felt like he was like on a different part of the globe. It's not a part of the team, and by the time he did become a part of the team, he felt very out of place, and I don't know. The way they used his character, I didn't think was very good. So I would have preferred his character be used in a more utilized way that could have been better, I thought. There's also a lot of moments in the film where I had to almost remind myself that I was watching a World War II film just because there was a lot of scenes in this film that really don't feel like a war film. They really don't feel like, besides obviously, the environments and stuff like that. There's a lot of moments in this one I almost had to remind myself where there was a scene that went on that got back into the World War II thing again, where it really didn't feel like a war film that much. It felt like a period piece, but not like a war film in certain scenes. I also think this is probably one of my bigger negatives of the movie. I thought it was too slow moving. I thought this film had a very slow pace to it. I felt like even though it was only 2 hours long, it felt like a very, very long time in order to get there. Felt longer than 2 hours, I would say, even though it was 2 hours. Just very, very slow moving. Didn't really care for the pacing of this film. I also thought when the film tried to add in comedy, it felt too on and off. It's like, okay, we're going to completely dedicate 20 minutes to comedy, then we're going to completely turn it off for 30 minutes. Then we're going to completely do comedy again for another 20 minutes, completely turn it off for the next 30 minutes. It kind of had that vibe to it, and it really got on my nerves by the fact that it was so on and off with the comedy like that. I also thought the film felt too ordinary and routine. It just felt like it was just playing it by the books, playing exactly the way it was written down in history. It felt really routine. I felt like, it felt like The Dirty Dozen and some other films that have completely done this kind of thing several times before. Definitely had like a John Wayne, Clint Eastwood film vibe to it, but I felt like it was the film that was so late into the game that you really can't even credit it just because so many other films have done a plot like this before. I also thought overall the film was just kind of somewhat forgettable. It's one of those kind of films where a lot of moments in the film are probably going to be completely forgotten from my memory in about 2 months from now. It just really felt forgettable, and even at this moment, I'm already forgetting a lot of the moments of the movie just because it doesn't really have that much of a memorabilia factor to it. Overall, guys, I give The Monuments Men a 7.5 out of 10. It's a very ambitious film. It's a very well made film, but there's a lot of things that really wear it down, like a slow pacing. Matt Damon's character should have been used in a different way. The on and off comedy, the routine feeling of the movie, and the fact that it felt very forgettable. There's just a lot of things wearing this film down. The Monuments Men, once again, 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's okay. It might be a good one-time rental if you're really into World War II stuff, or if you like what George Clooney does as a director. But besides that, I really can't see myself owning the film. I can't see myself watching this film several times, or even several years from now. I really don't think it has that type of memorabilia factor to it. So Monuments Men, it's okay. Maybe rent it if you really like this kind of stuff. I found it to be a little routine for someone that doesn't watch a lot of World War II films. Um, it's okay. Maybe rent it. Don't buy it. I guess that's my best word to the wise for what I can say about this movie.